Hey guys, Jake to Sports here. With an interesting video. We got a lot to talk about really today. Um, Obviously Notre Dame hired Marcus Freeman. I think he's the guy for the Irish. I really do. And we'll get more onto that in a second. But just thank you guys for viewing the Brian Kelly leaving Notre Dame video. I think it's got like 364 views, which is a lot for my channel. I every so often a game or not a game, a video or two will blow up. So I really do appreciate that. Now a lot of the commenters didn't have nice things to say. And to you, well, I disagree with you. LSU thinks they got a great hire. They think they're a better program than ND. That's just not true. That's just not true. At least in my opinion. But who am I? I'm just a kid, right? So yeah. But no, yeah. Thank you guys for at least leaving a comment. And even if you disagree with me, I love to talk about college football and all that stuff. So I really do appreciate that. And yeah, I mean today, obviously, I think we can all tell, or at least for me, that Brian Kelly video was a major overreaction. I mean, I don't think people understand that all the points and comments I said in that video, that was literally the second I saw Brian Kelly was going to LSU. So, I mean, looking back, like, I really don't care that he's gone. Now, I mean, I was a big supporter of Marcus Freeman when he got here, and I'm so glad he's the coach now. If you saw that video of him walking into the locker room, whatever it was, when he was walking through that door as the new Notre Dame head coach, everyone loved it. I loved it. The rest of the fans loved it. The players obviously loved it. I mean, they seemed super hype. Who else loved it? I mean, obviously, our AD loved it because that's why I hired him. The whole University of Notre Dame loved it. Like, I would highly doubt there's a single person actually mad about the hiring of Marcus Freeman, except other college football fans who don't want to see Notre Dame succeed. Because they know Marcus Freeman has the ceiling of a natty. I don't care what you say, whether you bring up academic restrictions or whatever you want to say. I mean, look at the recruiting rankings like right now. Number 5 in his first year here, and that was when he was mainly the defensive coordinator. That's the number 5 was really when Brian Kelly was the coach. What's next year going to be like? Number 3, number 2? I mean, dang. Like, he is a good coach. He is a really good coach. And I know I said a bunch of stuff about Brian Kelly. Fine. LSU, take him. Get him off. Get him off. I don't care. I don't care anymore. It always hurts to see someone leave and just think that your program is not good enough for another. But I'm glad he's gone. I don't want negative energy like that. And we got a new, young, positive guy here at the helm who can recruit really well and who I think can coach really well. I mean, we're going to have Lincoln Riley's offense against Marcus Freeman's defense for years to come. Sign me up. That's going to be an exciting matchup every single year. And I'm just really happy that all the coaching staff stayed. And I think that tells you a lot about Brian Kelly's character and especially what the coaching staff thinks about this team and where this program is at. Brian Kelly, thanks for setting a solid base. And thanks for getting the hell out of here, because we got a coach who actually wants to be here and who wants to bring Notre Dame a natty and who can bring Notre Dame a natty. You want to know the reason he left? He didn't believe he could bring Notre Dame a natty. And he thinks he can do it somewhere else. I don't think he can. I want to see it. Yeah, LSU's past 3 coaches are maybe worse coaches than LSU, and they've all brought in them natties. That doesn't mean anything. You're you, Brian Kelly. You got to prove that. But I don't even care about that anymore. He's gone. He doesn't matter. I don't care about him. I don't care what he does or how he coaches. I care about this team, Notre Dame. That's the team I root for. And right now, Notre Dame's in a great place. If you think they aren't, you're football ignorant. I'm sorry. Notre Dame is in an amazing place right now. And we're going to talk about the present right now with all the games going on right now, obviously, because Notre Dame had a good shot at the playoffs. We'll see. I'll just say that for now. But point is, Marcus Freeman, amazing hire, home run hire. He didn't Jack the 80. He didn't overthink it. And he went in house. Smart. You retain Tommy Rees, who I think needs to improve a little. I don't think he's the greatest offensive mind, but I'm just glad Marcus Freeman gets to keep the consistency there. And I don't know who we're elevating as D coordinator. I have to check that. But the coaching, I think, is in a solid place right now. It's in a solid place. And, if Marcus Freeman can just recruit a few more offensive guys, we're there. We are there. I'm telling you, recruiting is the one thing that Notre Dame did not have. And we're going to get it now. We're going to get it now. If you don't think we are, watch the recruiting classes. Watch Notre Dame rise up and watch Notre Dame get 5 stars. It's going to happen. So now it's just all up to Marcus Freeman. We got to see how he can coach. But I like the move, and I think he's a great guy who wants to get things done at Notre Dame. I really do. That's what I fully and wholeheartedly believe. So that's my thoughts and concluding the Brian Kelly era and starting the Marcus Freeman era. And I'm excited. So keep laughing, LSU fans. While we try to go win a national title, and you're stuck with Brian Kelly in a New Year's 6 game. Have fun. Now on to the present stuff. And really, it's hard to really get mad about maybe the scenario not going Notre Dame's way today, especially with Bama winning, because let's be honest here. If we wanted Notre Dame in, they should have taken care of business in way back in early October against Cincinnati, and that's just the truth. If you wanted to get in, and you would have beaten Cincinnati, and you'd be in. So it's hard to get mad, but it's a great opportunity for the Irish. But there's one game left really that matters. Pitt's playing Wake Forest. That's not going to mean anything, but there's one game left that matters. Michigan versus Iowa. Michigan wins, they're in. If they lose, I think Notre Dame's in. So really, how do I word this? I don't know. It just feels a little wrong if Notre Dame gets in. But at the same time, I think this team really has improved. I really do. I believe that. So it's a hard decision. Obviously, I want them in. Are you kidding me? These people who want to settle for New Year's 6 games, what are you doing? Why are you a fan? Why do you even watch the games if you want your team to go to a New Year's 6 bowl and not compete for a natty? I don't care if we're a 30-point underdog or a 30-point favorite. I want my team competing in the playoff every year. I would love that. It doesn't matter what the media says. So don't get the wrong idea. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's just. It's a weird year. It really is just a weird year. Notre Dame 11-1. It's just we're usually either undefeated or we lose 1 or 2 and then win our bowl game. That's usually what happens. So it's just weird to see Notre Dame really on the edge, on the brink of playoffs right now. But obviously Oklahoma State lost. That was the first domino I think we needed to fall. People are saying we would want Oklahoma State to win. I don't understand that. They're ahead of you. Baylor's not going to catch up. But once Baylor was ranked 9th, they had no shot. That's what the committee tried to do because they wanted Baylor to not even have a shot. So they moved them behind Ole Miss after they had a so-so win over Tech. So that's what they were doing. That's what the committee was doing. The committee hates Baylor. I do not think they like Baylor. And they don't like the small kids. Trust me, I don't think they love putting Cincinnati in. I just don't. So, Gary Barr could say whatever, and that whole thing about the coaching affecting Notre Dame and their ranking results. What? It's the team. It's the team. Look at the team and what they've done this year. They've improved massively, so I just don't get that either. That was BS. I was really mad when he said that, but I don't know if it'll turn out to matter. Obviously, like we said, Baylor won in incredible fashion. If you didn't watch that game, go watch it. It was incredible. I'm not really going to get into it. I was doing some leaves, making a little cash, and I was listening to the game on the radio. Just those radio announcers are amazing, and they made the whole experience very special. It was just a great game. Of course, I was chucking a few leaves up in the air, very happy when Oklahoma State lost. And, I'm always a big supporter of having different teams in the playoff, but when it comes to Notre Dame trying to make the playoff, obviously I was happy that Oklahoma State lost. So that was the first domino we needed to fall, and then the rest kind of has gone downhill. I'll be honest. I mean, Cincinnati, I don't really don't think you needed them. I guess it would have been nice, but they beat Houston handily. And putting Notre Dame going ahead of Cincinnati, even though Cincinnati beat them head-to-head, I just don't think that would be right, so I'm almost glad they won. And then, obviously, Georgia-Bama is just where it went downhill. I'll be honest, guys, I really thought Bama was going to lose that game, but shout out to Bama. I mean, they played a great game, and they look legit. I'll be honest, I don't think Notre Dame would beat Bama anymore. They went to 4 overtimes with Auburn. I just didn't see it. And for anyone mad that Bama won that Auburn game, listen, if they had 2 losses and they beat Georgia, they would be in anyways. So it really doesn't matter. Be mad that they beat Arkansas or something like that, because if they lost Arkansas and Auburn, they'd be out. But they didn't. So they won all those games, and they're going to be in the playoffs. So it is what it is. They're going to be 1 seed. And then Michigan, assuming they win, that's the last game to be played. Michigan, again, if they win, they're going to be in. If they lose, they're going to be out. They have 1 loss right now. If Michigan wins, they'll be the 2 seed. Basically, this is going to be the playoff. If Michigan wins, it's going to be Bama 1, Michigan 2, Cincy 3. It'll be Bama 1, Michigan 2, Georgia 3, Cincy 4, because they don't want Georgia and Bama to play again. But if Michigan loses, it'll be Bama 1, I think maybe Georgia 2 or Cincinnati 2, either Georgia or Cincinnati 3 and then Notre Dame 4. That is an interesting dynamic. I think either way, I think it's going to be Georgia, Bama, and then, it'll be Bama, Notre Dame, and then Cincinnati, Georgia. That would be the matchup those would be the matchups in the playoff if Michigan loses. I don't know why they made that so complicated, but the point is, it's going to really take a miracle at this point to get Notre Dame in. But whatever happens, and I would really like to see Marcus Freeman get a win in his first time as a head coach. Bama's a shaky team. Like, I wouldn't count Notre Dame out against Bama. I really wish we could play like a team like Cincinnati or Michigan in the semifinal, but that's not going to happen. We're going to fall. At this point, we're either getting in at the 4 or we're not getting in at all. So we'll take what we can get at this point, but I highly doubt Michigan's going to lose that game. So Notre Dame's probably going to New Year's 6, and I'll make an update if Michigan loses and Notre Dame's in the playoff. Obviously, I'll film my reaction to them getting in if things fall their way. I might just make a playoff reaction anyways, honestly. But point being, Notre Dame, if they make the playoff, I won't expect them to win, especially this year. It's such a crazy year. So if they make the playoff, I'll be happy. I don't want to say no matter the result. I'd like to keep it close, obviously, and obviously I want to win. I mean, it's a free shot at the Natty, but I don't think you can expect Notre Dame to beat a team like that in Alabama this year. Not like in a few weeks. I just don't see it, but who knows? But if Notre Dame does make it to a New Year's 6, you got to win that game. I'm sorry. Listen, I know it'll be Marcus Freeman's first game if we go to a New Year's 6. You've got to win that game, and I really mean that. I strongly believe that they have to win that game. If Marcus Freeman starts off 0-1 and a New Year's Six loss, and that everyone's been clowning us because we can't win a damn New Year's Six game. And it's always because we get matched up against the best teams. Like, look at 2020. If we played Oregon or Iowa State, we would kill them. We would kill them. That was a New Year's Six game. One of those teams actually won a New Year's Six bowl. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. We would kill either of those teams. Instead, the last New Year's Six that we made, that doesn't include the playoffs, it was Ohio State. Ohio State. So, I don't know. If we get if we play a New Year's Six game, I don't care who we're playing. You need, and I mean you need, to win that game. I'm sorry. You have to. Marcus Freeman just can't get off on the wrong foot like that. And especially, can you imagine if we would be able to say, hey, look at Marcus Freeman in his first ever game has a New Year's Six win. Brian Kelly, never able to do that with the Irish. That would be huge. Huge for recruiting, huge for everything. Marcus Freeman can show that he can get it done. He can get it done in the big games. And I don't care what anyone says about the New Year's Six right now. That's a big game. That's a big game for the programs and the people around that. Like, I want to win a New Year's Six game, and most people in college football do. Usually for a group of 5 team, a New Year's Six game is their Super Bowl. It just happens to be that Cincinnati is really good this year, and they're actually going to make it to the playoffs. They're going to make it to the playoffs. So, yeah, in conclusion, if Notre Dame makes the playoff and they play Bama most likely, I'm not going to expect a win. It'll be okay if you lose, but, let's really try to win this game because we'll be 0-3 if we don't. And it would suck. But, obviously, a free shot at the national title, you got to take that. You got to. And if Notre Dame plays in a New Year's Six, you got to win. I'm sorry, Marcus Freeman. I know it's your first game, a lot of pressure, but you got to win. You got to win. So, I'll come back on tonight if Michigan ends up losing this, which I highly doubt. I have a feeling I was just not going to show up for this game, which means Notre Dame's probably going to New Year's Six. And obviously, I'll film my Sunday Selection Sunday reaction at noon tomorrow as well. So, maximum of 2 videos, minimum of 1 for the rest of this weekend. I'm Jake to Sports, signing off. See you. And, to the LSU fans, go laugh, go cry. Seriously. Brian Kelly, he's not the guy you think he is. He'll leave you in the dust. Peace.